The fear of Lagos State Traffic Management Agency LASMA may be the beginning of wisdom for all Lagos motorists, as the law enforcement officers have lately gone tough on traffic offenders. Unlike in the last 4 years when the officers were barred from making arrests, the Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration has returned LASMA to status quo with heavier sanctions of forfeiture or 200,000 naira penalty and even imprisonment if found guilty after court trial. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has restored security backups and towing vans for traffic law enforcement operations. He also signed the traffic-related Lagos Neighborhood Safety Agency amended bill into law and sacked up the officers with a 100% increase of monthly hazard allowance. LASMA recently rolled out the 64 offenses in their statute and the penalties. Joining me now is the General Manager, Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, Olawale Musa. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Yeah, morning. Thank you for having me.
64 offenses.
Yeah.
That's huge, isn't it?
It's not huge. It's not new.
It's not new.
He's been there for years since LASMA has been there. We just needed to let people know because we're on social media. Immediately after the governor made those pronouncements, we started seeing different feeds, and they were misleading people. So we just had to let people know the actualities of the law, so that they have to be aware. So it's not new. It's been there for like forever.
It's been there, but a lot of reactions have come up from Lagosians saying that the government has to play its own part, ensuring that the roads, the bad roads perhaps are repaired and the signs on the road are properly, fit and all of that. So what aspect or what has been done with regards to that aspect? Yeah,
if you are much aware about the executive order that the governor gave, roads were also part of it. That are massive rehabilitation. But the truth is, whether we like it or not, at this period, you can't really see much because of the rains. But I can tell you, because we relate with the Public Works Corporation, because once the roads are not good, it affects my men, their psyche and their performance on the road. So we keep relating with them, telling them where we have these bad hotspots, that's when it comes to roads, so that they can move in and do palliatives. But unfortunate thing is, the moment they move in, when the rain comes heavily, it's washed off. But we keep doing that. But I'm sure so many people will be seeing it, where there are some aspects that you need to do a bit of construction. And when it comes to concrete works, you need like minimum of 21 days for it to even set before you can begin to appreciate what is happening. So we have those challenges there. But I can tell you, those is encompassed in the totality of what the governor wants us to do.
Now, let's look at some of the offenses and the fines put in place with it. Now, there's one that you talked about, the non-usage of seat belts. We have about 20,000 naira for
20,000.
First offender and 30,000 naira as well as impounding the vehicle.
Yeah.
Why impound the vehicle?
No, let me tell you the truth about the law. What we do in LASMA, forget about the law. When I say forget about the law, I'm not saying don't obey the law. Forget about the fines. We don't give anybody tickets. Because,
really?
Yeah, in LASMA.
But a lot of Lagosians have complained.
What we do in LASMA is that when you are caught, we take you to court. It's only the court that makes pronouncement. Okay, and the magistrate can decide to give you something lesser, something more, or in addition, give you community service. So LASMA does not issue fines. The fines you see in the law is just to guide the magistrate. The only time you'll be issued a ticket is you waive your option to go to court, which you will sign that, I don't want to go to court, I'm guilty, just give me my fine. That's when we give you that. But you see, yeah, the fines are supposed to be punitive. That's the truth.
All right, we'll need to hold the thought there because we need to quickly go on a break. We'll return to talk more on this. You're still watching TVC Breakfast, and we still have in the studio with us GM LASMA Olawale Musa. Now, before we went on the break, you were talking about the fact that the penalties are supposed to be punitive measures. But then, do you really think that this punitive measure that the state government wants to put in place will really correct the anomalies we find on the road?
Let me put it straight again, it's not like the state government wants to put it in place. It has been in place for years.
But it wasn't as effective as we want to see it now.
Yeah, what we're trying to let people know is that you do this, this is what happens to you. You know what we see in Nigeria is that you want to play football, you just go on the field, you start playing without knowing the rules. The truth is, before you go to the field, you know when you play with your legs, not with your hands. But Nigerians, they don't learn the rules before they go to the game. Okay? Those are the rules that you should know before going to the football field. And last man is the referee, whether I like it or not. What happens is that we don't learn these things. You know how you and I get our driver's license in the past, although it's much more better now. People don't go to driving schools. Even when they go, there are some ways that people subvert the process. Okay? These are things that we should naturally know. The signs to look out for, the rules.
So how are you certain that people wouldn't subvert this process that has been put in place?
Yeah, people will do. This is Nigeria. People will do. And that's why we set up our own monitoring machinery. Like maybe on Friday, you are aware that 2 of our officers were paraded.
Yes.
They were trying to subvert. We will see that. The more we increase the tempo, some people will want to gain from it.
Because most negotiators have also talked about the fact that your men are complicit when it comes to the issues of commercial drivers parking indiscriminately on the roads, picking up passengers.
You see, the issue of commercial drivers is another ball game. Let me tell you, it's an entirety of our process, of our as a people. Because that commercial driver that drives against traffic has 18 passengers who are happy to be driving against traffic. They don't complain. When you see a last man officer, 2 of them, they went to apprehend the vehicle. They have to contend with the driver, the conductor, and those 18 passengers that are ready to fight the last man officers. Apart from that, the commercial drivers are usually very, very reckless.
Quickly before we let you go, we need you to quickly touch on the Akpapa gridlock. How the progress been made so far since you're part of the committee?
We thank God we had very, very marginal success. When I talk of marginal, is that at the Apapa end, that is Western Avenue, Ijora end, working fine. But on the Maitu end, we have issues with the roads, and which needs to have palliatives. Once those palliatives are done, the movement of trucks in that axis will be better. But we've done a lot. We've done a lot on that axis.
Why was it important to ensure that, or for the government to bring back those laws and ensure that they were fully enforced by your men?
Yeah, the law have been on ground.
Yeah.
It's not new. We just reiterated them because we saw that people were circulating fake laws and fines on social media. So we needed people to really be aware of the actualities in accordance with the law. And you know, it's very necessary that people really know, because people don't take it for granted. Because if you don't know, some people, if you don't know, you see, people tell you they didn't know. So, like now, most people don't know that if you drive against the flow of traffic, which people normally call one way, you lose your vehicle, technically. You forfeit your vehicle. That's the law. There's no fine for that. You lose the vehicle.
For how long?
Perpetually.
Really?
That's the law. That's the law. And you can also go to jail, okay, in addition to losing your vehicle.
Why now? We have to talk about why all of these penalties for these offenses. Why the choice of forfeiting the vehicle because of facing traffic?
You see the way you said it lightly, because of facing traffic. You are driving.
No, I'm not saying I'm not taking it lightly now, but one will want to understand, because even most Lagosians have complained of the fact that they are not really educated about these penalties or aware.
You see, this is like driving against the flow of traffic. One, that person is assumed to be a killer, a potential killer. Okay, it's not losing the vehicle. Compare losing a vehicle and losing somebody's life, because they could run down anybody. But it happened to me personally. Okay, I was crossing the road, looking this direction. I didn't expect vehicle to be coming from the other direction, and I was knocked down. I could have died. I won't be here today if I had died. So facing oncoming traffic, that person is a potential killer. So the thing is, Nigerians don't know the rules. They want to play the game. You see, you have to know those rules before you play the game.
So now, what effort are you what effort is your body putting in place to ensure that people are properly educated with regards to these laws?
Yeah.
And understanding the rules.
I'm here today. It's part of it. But the truth is, when you have a soccer match, it's not the referee that will be telling you the rules on the field. You must have known the rules before you come to play the game. Last man is the referee. So if you don't know the rules, you enter the field, you start playing with your hands. You start getting penalties, start getting free kicks and those. People should learn it before they play the game.
How do they learn if they are not informed or if they are not told?
No, what do you mean? You go to driving school before you get a driver's license. That's the natural thing you do. Those laws, the rules of the game are stated when you go to driving school. The signs you are supposed to look out for. Do I need to tell you that to obey the traffic light? Do I need to tell you not to drive against flow of traffic?
But you would agree with me that most of these drivers, especially commercial bus drivers, do not go to driving school.
The truth is most Lagosians don't obey the law, even when they know. Look, I've seen personally where I see a sign, fine 90,000 for parking. I saw vehicles parked, not even commercial, parked right by it. I went there and met, why are you parked there? They said, I didn't know. You didn't know what? Look at this sign. They don't look out for the signs. We don't want to know because we can get away with a lot of things. That's what is happening. But now that we are saying you can't get away with it, people start complaining.
All right, thank you so much, General Manager Lasma Olaole Musa. Thank you for your time on TVC Breakfast.